Welcome to Speed Initiative Preparation. Today we are going to see the community medicine aspect the question. And today you all know what is today. Today is September 28. So what is September 28? September 28 is World Rabies Day. Okay, today is World Rabies Day. Okay, so what is today 2021 theme? They will ask what are the 2021 theme. 2021 theme is facts, no fear. That is the theme. Because we all know rabies, as per the MCQ point of view, it is a disease with 100% case fatality rate. So today we are celebrating the World Rabies Day with the theme Facts, No Fears. So with that we are going to the MCQ proper. Okay. So the question goes like this. Rabies is again a documented topic and it can be asked in future exams because of the recent incidents in the cases and the new program that is going to be launched by Government of India, National Rabies Control Program. We have only guidelines. We don't have program per se, but we can have a program in forthcoming years, National Rabies Control Program. 21-year-old had completed post-exposure prophylaxis after a dog bite. Okay, and now he had again bitten by a monkey. Okay, so according to the recent guidelines, what is the time gap? That is, a person has completed post-exposure prophylaxis. Till how long the immunity will lost? That's the question asked. This is the question is according to the recent guidelines that it is very clearly mentioned because recently it is updated that we will go before going to the answer. We will discuss what is the rabies, some points about rabies. The first point to be discussed in rabies is transmitted by all mammals. Rabies is transmitted by all mammals except rat, rabbit, squirrel, Indian bat. The word Indian bat is very important because Indian bat is mainly a vegetarian bat. There is another group of bats called vampire bats, which is blood-sucking bats, which mainly causes the rabies. Very other part of the country. These are the animals in India that doesn't transmit rabies, though they are mammals. So in India, majority of the rabies is caused by dog bite. Dog bite followed by cat bite. So animals that is transmitting the rabies in Indian population is mainly dogs, especially stray dogs, and followed by cat. Okay, so the MCQ which are known is the animal that doesn't transmit the rabies. For example, squirrel bite if happens, there is no need of post-exposure prophylaxis aspirants. Okay, and the word Indian bite is also important. Okay, so you see the MCQ on the option and right. Okay, so in rabies, what are the types of prophylaxis we have? Because I already told rabies is a disease with 100% case fatality rate. So there is no proper treatment protocol which we can employ to treat the rabies. There is one more documented protocol is there. That is the only treatment available for rabies. The name of the treatment is Milwaukee Protocol. Okay, Milwaukee Protocol is the treatment protocol for rabies. There is one more Milwaukee in the orthopedics. Milwaukee brace is called scoliosis. So this is a Milwaukee protocol. So what are types of prophylaxis available in the rabies is post-exposure prophylaxis, pre-exposure prophylaxis, re-exposure prophylaxis. So what do you mean by post-exposure prophylaxis? Means post-bite prophylaxis. Pre-exposure prophylaxis means before the bite happens, we can take re-exposure prophylaxis, which is the question that is asked. We're coming to the what is the principle of post-exposure prophylaxis. So post-exposure prophylaxis, I am early intervening before the symptoms begin. So again, this is another MCQ. Post-exposure prophylaxis of rabies comes under what level of prevention? It comes under secondary level of prevention. Secondary level of prevention because you are early intervening before the symptoms begin. We are inoculating a vaccine or virus. Okay, we are inoculating a vaccine. So then this is a normal phase. Suppose a dog bite or cat bite has happened, the animal virus get inoculated, then it go to a period of incubation period which is variable in rabies, and the acute phase and coma and death will happen. So we are putting the vaccine here, okay, to remove the free virus from tissues. Okay, how we are removing the tissue? By washing. The most important is washing. I will explain that. Then neutralization and induce a rabies virus specific immune response in the exposed individual before rabies virus can replicate in the CNS. Okay. So first, what are the categories of the post-exposure prophylaxis? The category 1. Category 1 is touching or feeding of animals, licks on intact skin. There is no need of any post-exposure prophylaxis. Category 2, there is nibbling of the uncovered skin. This is more common in farmers. More common in farmers because they will feed the cows and the goat. So they may have some wound in the hand. So when they give food, the animal bite. So this is the most common thing in farmers. Even though there is a slight nibbling or licking can happen with the cows or dog, it may transmit the rabies. Remember, rabies is transmitted only from the saliva of a rabid animal. Saliva of a rabid animal. Okay. So nibbling of the uncovered skin, minor scratches or abrasions without bleeding. What we have to do the wound management, which I explained in the next slide, and anti-rabies vaccine. We'll see what is the anti-rabies vaccine. Category 3, single or multiple transdermal blight or scratches with the bleeding, licks on broken skin, contamination of the mucous membrane of the saliva, that is again licks. Now the recent add point is added. Any contact with wild animal comes under category 3. Even slight contact with the wild animal is category 3. So number 1 update is that. Second update is if the person is immunocompromised, even though he is category 2, should be considered as category 3. So in case of immunocompromised, okay, what is the criteria? Even category 2, you should treat as category 3. So that means what? Even in that case, I have to give rabies immunoglobulin. The rabies immunoglobulin is the hallmark in treatment of category 3 wounds. So that in immunocompromised, category 2 is considered as category 3. So immunoglobulin should be given in that case also. So now what is the wound management? Wound management is local wound management. First, you have to clean the wound with soap and water. Okay, that is more important. Okay, so because rabies is an lipophilic virus. Rabies is an lipophilic virus. Okay, it has a lipid envelope. Okay, the lipid, when you use the soap, what will happen? This lipid envelope get destroyed and rabies virus destroyed. This cleaning of the wound with the soap and water for 15 minutes will remove how much percentage of virus from the wound? 80% of the virus. So that is the most important. Even before starting the treatment, okay, then you should not do chemical treatment with tincture iodine, alcohol, and povidone iodine, or any other local medicine. Some people apply turmeric in that. Some people apply the spicy chilies in that. In North India and all, chili powder they will apply in the dog bite, which is absolutely wrong because this will allow the virus to penetrate the wound. So chemical treatment should be avoided. It is not like a normal wound. Normally, in any wound happens with any scratches or anything, we have to do that. We have to go for chemical treatment, but that is absolutely contraindicated in rabies animal bite management. Then antibiotic and anti-tetanus measures depends on the wound and the history of tetanus, which we'll discuss in next class. Okay. So what are the vaccines available? The vaccines available is a killed vaccine, which is a 0.1 ml intradermal on each deltoid. This is called Thai Red Cross schedule. Okay. So this 0.2 ml intradermal, total dose is 0.2 ml intradermal. Day 0, day 3, day 7, day 28. So this is the schedule. Next to come to the intramuscular schedule. In the intramuscular, we have to give 1 ml IM now it is 0.5 ml. It is not 1 ml, 0.5 ml. Day 3, along with that, there is one more day called day 14 and day 28. This is called SN schedule. Okay, passive immunization, that is along with antibody, it is indicated in category 3. It is indicated in category 3 and immunocompromised category 2. Immunocompromised category 2. Okay. We can give two types of immunoglobulin. Equine rabies immunoglobulin 40 international units per kg and human rabies immunoglobulin 20 international units per kg, and ERIG should be administered after test dose. This is very important. And human rabies immunoglobulin, no test dose is needed. We can give directly in the where we have to give passive immunoglobulin. We have to give passive immunization only in the wound. Only in the wound. Very important, dear aspirants. We should not give any intramuscular or intra-thigh. Okay, in the thigh or deltoid or gluteal, wherever, we should give maximum in the wound. If remaining is there, we can go for the thing. Okay, we can go for intramuscular in deltoid or thigh. So these are the two types of immunoglobulins. We have seen the rabies vaccine with intradermal schedule and intramuscular schedule. Intradermal schedule is 03728. Intramuscular is 10371428 and with antibodies. Okay. Now, I already told we have to give maximum in the locally, infiltrate as much as possible into and around the wound. Okay, so very important, very, very important. Now, re-exposure prophylaxis, point on dermal, intradermal on single deltoid. So, when is the re-exposure prophylaxis given? It was 1 year. According to the guidebooks, it was 1 year. Now, it is changed into 2021, it is changed into 3 months. It is not 1 year in the guidebooks, it is 3 months. According to recent WHO and also Indian Advisory Board of Association of Prevention of Control of Rabies in India, it is clear that suppose in September a dog bite happened and person completed on 03728. If he comes in January, we have to give the re-exposure prophylaxis 0.1 ml intradermal vaccine over the single deltoid, day 0 and day 3. There is only 2 doses. Remember this very important, aspirants, there is no need of passive immunization in re-exposure prophylaxis. Okay, which means the person, we are just have to induce the immunological memory created by the post-exposure prophylaxis. You got the point. Okay, so it was not 1 year according to the guidebooks, it is 3 months according to the recent guidelines. That was a question asked. And pre-exposure prophylaxis also it is documented. What is pre-exposure prophylaxis? Suppose when you join MBBS, you would have taken hepatitis B vaccine, chickenpox vaccine, varicella vaccine. Okay. So similarly, when the person who joined veterinary course, veterinarians, animal handlers, lab staffs working in the rabies virus, they have to take the pre-exposure prophylaxis. Now, in that also one update is the WHO update 2021. Okay. Rabies pre-exposure prophylaxis can be given in rabies endemic area. Rabies endemic area. So what do you mean by rabies endemic area? When there is more than 5% incidence, when there is more than 5% incidence of rabies in that particular area, we can give all the individuals pre-exposure prophylaxis. Okay, this is another update. 0.1 ml intradermal single delta, day 0, day 7, day 28. So this is the pre-exposure prophylaxis we are giving prophylactically in people who are exposed to the animal bite. Okay, this is the today's topic on rabies. Today, remember, September 28th, World Rabies Day, and we have discussed the category we have discussed, various types of prophylaxis we have discussed, and the question, we coming to the question, the answer, it is not 1 year, it is 3 months. Okay, according to the recent update. I will repeat again. Okay, please revise well. Revision is the most important for any PG exams. Okay, so thank you so much. Tomorrow we will come up with one more interesting topic. Thank you.
Best training, peaceful environment, PG medical entrance exam preparation were my expectations. I got them at Speed Medical Village in Kanchipuram. Today, I am a PG topper.
Speed Medical Village, a unique eco-friendly campus dedicated for PG preparation. Speed Medical Institute, a complete solution for medical education.